You ever notice how she plays with her hair when you speak, but then looks away the second your eyes meet? You probably thought she was just distracted, that it meant nothing. But here's the truth. That tiny gesture, it wasn't random at all. It's the subtle moves, the ones you barely notice, that stir something inside her. And right now, you're doing things that drive women wild without even realizing it. The question is, do you even know what those things are? Or have you been blind to your hidden power all along? Was that just in your head, or was it real? If you've ever caught a woman acting strange around you, comment the last time it happened. And stay till the end. The final sign will shock you with how simple it is. You walk into the room and you don't say a word. You don't pull out your phone. You don't try to make anyone laugh. You just stand there. Not stiff, not awkward, just grounded, present, observing. The noise of the room hums around you, but your energy? Still, and without doing anything, without trying, she sees you. The girl across the room, she notices. Not because you were loud, not because you were funny, but because you were different. This is what most guys miss. They think attraction is about addition, adding jokes, adding charm, adding more noise to stand out. But mystery is subtraction. It's removing the obvious so she has something to lean into. You become the question she didn't know she wanted. To answer Dot at that rooftop party, Alex didn't say much. He stood near the edge, drink in hand, eyes scanning the skyline. No cheesy smile, no pickup lines, just presence. He made eye contact once, casually, then looked away. And within 20 minutes, she was standing closer, fiddling with her bracelet, laughing a little too loudly at her friend's joke, stealing glances when she thought he wasn't looking. And here's the twist. Most guys fear this silence. They think it makes them invisible, but to her, it makes you a puzzle. Because now, she's wondering, who is that guy? Why isn't he trying? Doesn't he care what people think? She's used to guys performing for her attention. You're simply observing. And that creates a power shift. She leans in. She projects depth onto you. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're brooding. Maybe you've got something going on in your world she doesn't understand and wants to. And yeah, sometimes your mind will panic. You'll feel the urge to talk just to break the tension. Down. That tension is the whole point. Because she's not attracted to what you say. She's attracted to what you withhold Dot next time you're out. At a party, a bar, even in line at a cafe. Lean back. Relax your shoulders. Let the moment stretch. Observe instead of perform. That stillness you carry, it speaks louder than anything you could say. Most guys overshare to fill the silence. But you'll learn to master it. Because you're the kind of man who doesn't need the spotlight. To be seen dotted happens fast, almost too fast to notice. A brush of the hand as you both reach for the same glass. The light touch on her lower back as you guide her through a crowded room. It feels natural, effortless, almost accidental. But to her, that touch lingers. Long after the moment passes, it's still playing on repeat in her mind. Most men don't even register it. You think it's just politeness, a reflex. You weren't trying to spark anything. But here's what you don't see. Women are wired to feel the world through sensation, through subtlety. While you may have forgotten it by the time you take your next step, she's still wondering, did he mean to do that? Or was it just nothing? Jason wasn't thinking about it either. He was at a gallery, walking alongside Mia, both lost in conversation about some painting that didn't really matter. As they moved through the crowd, he gently placed his hand on the small of her back, guiding her toward a quieter corner. His hand stayed there for just a second, then slipped away. And that was it. No words, no tension. Just that fleeting spark dot. But Mia, she felt it everywhere. Her heart picked up pace. Her skin tingled where he touched her. And suddenly, every word he said afterward carried more weight. The beauty of these moments is how quiet they are. Number. Grand gestures. No sleazy moves. Just presence and intent. Here's the thing. Most men either avoid touch altogether, afraid of crossing lines, or they overdo it, forcing physicality that feels unnatural. But you're going to find the sweet spot. That space where touch isn't loud or invasive, but soft, respectful, electric. You're the kind of guy who understands the dance. You know that physical contact isn't about claiming or proving anything. It's about creating a subtle current. One she can't ignore. Next time you're walking beside her, try this. When you're making a point, lightly touch her elbow as you speak. Let it linger for half a second, then release. Watch how her body responds. Watch how the dynamic shifts, almost like magic. Most guys rush to the obvious signals, missing the silent ones completely. But you'll master the art of accidental electricity, because you're learning that sometimes the softest touch is the loudest. There's a certain weight in the way a man moves, a subtle gravity that doesn't need words to make an impact. Most guys rush. They fidget, they tap their fingers, they shuffle their feet, filling every second with nervous energy. But the man who moves slowly, who takes his time, he doesn't just walk through the world. He glides through it, effortless, grounded, magnetic. You probably don't even notice it in yourself. The way you speed up when you're anxious, how your gestures become sharp, your breathing shallow, your words tangled. You think you're just being efficient, keeping up with the pace of life. But to her, it's a dead giveaway. Fast equals nervous. Slow equals secure. Picture this. David is sitting alone in a quiet coffee shop, flipping through a book. He's not scrolling through his phone or darting his eyes around the room. No, he's deliberate. He flips each page slowly, savoring the moment. He takes a sip of his drink, unhurried, then looks up, locking eyes with her for just a second. Before calmly returning to his book, she notices. Of course she does. Because everything about his energy says he isn't chasing anything. He's not performing. He's enjoying his own world, fully immersed in the now. And that's intoxicating. She watches him, wondering, why isn't he rushing? Doesn't he have somewhere to be? But deep down, what she's really asking is, how does he seem so comfortable in his own skin? Here's the secret most men never learn. When you slow down, you signal control. You signal presence. You broadcast to everyone around you that you don't feel threatened, that you're exactly where you're meant to be. And you're about to master this. Next time you catch yourself speeding up, talking too fast, moving too quickly, pause. Take a breath. Slow down your speech just slightly. Stretch out your gestures. Move with intention, not urgency. At first, it'll feel strange, like you're dragging everything out. But what you'll soon realize is that slowing down doesn't make you less engaging. It makes you more commanding. Most guys rush because they feel pressure to impress. But you'll learn to own the moment, to breathe deeply, to move like every second belongs to you. Because here's the truth. Fast men chase. Slow men attract. There's a strange kind of electricity in eye contact. It's invisible, but you feel it. Like static in the air, thick and buzzing between. Most men misunderstand this. They think it's all about who can hold the longest stare, who can dominate the gaze and come out on top. But that's not where the real power lies. The real power? It's in knowing exactly when to look away. You're sitting across from her. The conversation is flowing, soft laughter filling the space between your words. You meet her eyes steadily, calmly. You hold it for just a moment longer than feels safe. And then you break it, not in panic, not in shyness, but with quiet ease. a slight smirk playing on your lips as your gaze drifts down to your glass or off into the distance. That one move? It'll haunt her Dot, because now she's left wondering, what just happened? Why did he look away like that? Was it something I said? Or is he just that confident? Chris knew this instinctively. He was talking with Emma at a small gathering, leaning casually against the bar. Their eyes met mid-conversation, and he held it steady, unflinching. But right before it could get too heavy, he looked down at his drink, letting a small, knowing smile escape. He didn't rush to fill the silence. He just let the moment hang. Dot and Emma? She was caught off guard. Her pulse quickened. Her thoughts raced. Suddenly, she wasn't thinking about the words anymore. She was thinking about him. Most men either avoid eye contact altogether or overcompensate, staring too long, trying to prove something. But when you master the dance of eye contact, knowing when to hold it, when to soften it, and when to look away, you create a push-pull dynamic that's magnetic. You're the kind of man who doesn't need to lock eyes forever to make an impression. You know that sometimes pulling away at the perfect moment makes her lean in emotionally. Even if she doesn't realize it. Next time you catch her gaze, don't rush to look away. Hold it steady and calm for a heartbeat or two longer than you normally would. Then, as if you just remembered something amusing, let your eyes drift elsewhere, allowing a subtle smile to flicker across your face. Most guys either stare too long or flinch away too fast. You'll master both sides of the game. You'll leave her wondering what's going through your mind. And that mystery, that quiet, unspoken confidence, it'll drive her wild. There's something almost disarming about being listened to, truly listened to. Most guys think that attraction is about what they say, the stories they tell, the jokes they crack, the opinions they throw around like darts, hoping to impress her. But women, they aren't drawn to noise. They're drawn to depth. And nothing reveals depth faster than quiet, deliberate listening. It's subtle, easy to miss, but it's powerful beyond words. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her in a dimly lit booth. The world outside is buzzing, but in here, it's just the two of you. She's talking, venting, really about her day, her boss, some conflict that's been weighing on her. And you're not just nodding mindlessly or waiting for your turn to speak. You're there with her, leaning in slightly, eyes steady, head tilting ever so slightly as you absorb every word. And then, when she finally pauses, you reflect it back, not with some clever advice or a solution, but with simple clarity. So, it's not just the workload. It's that they don't respect what you bring to the table. Your voice calm, grounded, almost like you're stating an obvious truth she's been trying to grasp. In that moment, something shifts. Her eyes soften, her breath slows. Because now, she feels seen, not just heard, but understood. And that's rare. Michael did this without even realizing the power of it. He was chatting with Sarah at a quiet wine bar. She rambled on about her frustrations at work. Most guys would have zoned out or tried to change the topic. But Michael stayed present. He watched her face as she spoke, listened to the emotion beneath her words, and reflected it back with a quiet comment that struck right at the core. Sarah didn't just feel attracted. She felt safe, connected, drawn in. Here's what most men miss. Listening isn't passive. It's an active form of connection. When you mirror her emotions, not by mimicking, but by genuinely tuning in, you create intimacy that words alone can't reach. You're the kind of guy who sees beneath the surface, who makes her feel like the only woman in the room, simply by giving her your full, undivided attention. Next time you're in a conversation, try this. When she's sharing something personal, pause before replying. Then softly say, "It sounds like you're feeling," and let the words come naturally. Watch her reaction. Most guys talk over women, trying to impress. But you'll master the art of quiet attunement. You'll make her feel seen in a way she won't forget. And that feeling? It's addicting. There's a spark that ignites when you tease her just right. A playful edge that cuts through the polite surface-level conversations and flips the energy into something alive, something electric. Most guys either play it too safe, afraid to ruffle any feathers, or they go too far, turning teasing into something that feels mean-spirited or awkward. But the man who knows how to playfully challenge her with warmth and ease, he unlocks something most guys never even get close to. It starts with a grin, a tilt of the head, that slight glimmer in your eyes that says, "Oh, you're not getting away with that one." You don't even need words right away. The energy speaks first. Picture this. You're sitting across from her in a small, bustling cafe. She's writing something down on a napkin, her penmanship messy, almost illegible. You watch her for a moment, letting a smirk curl at the edge of your mouth, and then you lean in just slightly and say, "Oh, is that your best excuse for handwriting? I've seen better from toddlers." Jake did exactly this with Lily, teasing her about her scrawled notes during a coffee shop hangout. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't serious. His tone was playful, his eyes bright, his energy light. And Lily? She burst out laughing. That laugh where her head tips back, her eyes sparkle, and suddenly, she's leaning toward him, not away. Here's the part that most guys miss. Playful teasing isn't about putting her down. It's about inviting her into a shared inside joke. It's about creating a safe little bubble where the two of you can dance, challenge, and push each other without either of you taking it too seriously. She's not attracted to the insult itself. She's attracted to the energy behind it. The way you hold your ground with a wink, showing that you're unshaken, that you're here to play. And you're going to master that. Next time you notice a little quirk about her. Maybe the way she orders the most complicated drink on the menu, or how she takes forever to pick an outfit gently exaggerated. Say something like, "Wow, I didn't realize I was having coffee with royalty." And then, flash that knowing grin. Watch what happens. Watch how her eyes light up, how she leans in, how the space between you becomes charged. Most guys avoid teasing because they fear it'll backfire. But you'll wield it like a secret weapon. You'll spark that playful, magnetic tension that flips everything on its head. Because here's the truth. Women crave a man who can challenge them with charm. Here's something most men never realize, something that quietly shapes every interaction they have with women, whether they're aware of it or not. Women sense your intent before you even open your mouth, before the first word, before the first glance. They feel it. It's subtle, instinctive, deeply wired into their psychology, a survival mechanism from thousands of years of evolution. They're constantly scanning for hidden motives, often without even realizing they're doing it. You think attraction starts with what you say, the compliments, the flirting, the body language tricks. But in reality, it starts long before that, with the energy you carry the second you step into the room. Picture this. You're walking down a crowded street, headphones in, completely lost in your own world. You're not looking for anyone. You're not scanning for validation. You're just immersed. Maybe it's the song playing through your headphones. Maybe it's the creative project you've been obsessed with lately. Maybe it's the deep sense of satisfaction from something you've accomplished recently. You're walking with a subtle smile, not because you're trying to look approachable, but because you're simply enjoying the moment. And then you notice it. Women glancing at you as you pass. Lingering looks. A second glance here. A curious stare there. It's not an accident. It's instinctual. They can feel that you're not chasing anyone, that you're already full. Ethan lives like this without even trying. He spends most of his time surfing, playing music, and working on his craft. He doesn't approach women with a hidden agenda. He doesn't walk into rooms trying to prove his worth. He's already anchored in his own life, and that's exactly why women are drawn to him. Because here's the ultimate truth. Every behavior we've covered, the quiet mystery, the subtle touch, the slow movements, the controlled eye contact, the deep listening, the playful teasing, they only work if your intent is clean. If you're doing them to manipulate, she feel it. If do this, you're doing them to seek approval, she sense it. But if you're doing them because they naturally flow from a life that already excites you, because you're genuinely grounded in your own world, then they hit different. They don't feel like tactics. They feel like who you are. Most men chase external signs of attraction. They obsess over the reaction. But you're gonna flip the script. Because when you're lit up from within, when your life excites you, challenges you, and fulfills you, you naturally become the man she can't stop thinking about. This week, I want you to do something radical. Carve out time for something that lights you up, not for anyone else, not for attention, but for you. Go surf. Go write. Go lift. Go build. Do something that makes you forget the world exists for a while. Because here's the thing most men never understand. Attraction isn't about chasing her dot. It's about leaving yourself first. And once you start doing that, everything else we've talked about, it'll happen effortlessly, dot. So now you know. 6 subtle moves. 6 quiet, almost invisible behaviors that flip a switch inside her. Most guys will never notice them. Most guys will keep chasing, keep performing, keep talking themselves in circles, wondering why nothing ever clicks. But you're different now. Let's run it back, just to make sure it sticks. First, the power of unintentional mystery. You don't need to be the loudest guy in the room. In fact, the less you say, the more she wonders. Watch, observe, lean back. Let her notice your stillness. Second, the accidental touch that electrifies her. Those fleeting casual brushes of contact on her elbow, her back, her hand, they linger in her mind far longer than you realize. Subtle, respectful, intentional. Third, the calm confidence of slow movements. Slow is smooth. Smooth is strong. Move with patience, not urgency. Sip your drink slowly. Pause before you speak. Own every gesture. Fourth, the unspoken confidence of eye contact breaks. Hold her gaze just a moment longer than feels comfortable. Then look away on your own terms. Leave her wondering what's going through your mind. Fifth, the quiet depth of active listening. Don't just hear her words. Feel them. Reflect them back with soft clarity. Show her she's not just speaking. She's being seen. Sixth, the unexpected allure of playful challenge. Tease her gently. Playfully push her buttons with a wink and a grin. Invite her into your world of playful banter. And remember, none of this works if your intent isn't clean. The moment you start doing these things to get something from her, it all falls apart. But when you lead yourself first, when you live from passion, purpose, and personal joy, everything else flows naturally. Because here's the truth. The man who doesn't need attention always gets it.